Perfect. So let's do a quick introduction. I'm Gokul, co-founder and CEO of Botminds, and with me I have uh, Vikas, VP Sales and Marketing, and Kalpana, supposed to join. That's the reason, last minute glitches here and there. So product manager, pillar behind this release, first product manager for Botminds. So she will join hopefully in a few minutes. And also I have with me TV, head of product engineering. Again, phenomenal work in the last few months for this release. Good. So I'd like to call upon Vikas to talk about the overall, about Botminds in general, and then I'll take it from him about the journey and the importance of V15. So that's the agenda. So we'll talk about Botminds and then the product journey, and TV will come and wow us with latest features in V15. Then we'll go to live demo. So the idea is, giving you all the first-hand experience about the latest features. So that's the agenda. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you, Gokul. Thanks everyone for joining in. I see a couple of people who are already on, but thanks for the time. Just a quick introduction. I've got only 2-3 slides here. I'll set the tone, and like Gokul mentioned, then things will be handed off. So we are a young intelligent automation platform company who is essentially addressing anything to do with unstructured documents, all the document process automation requirements. As long as you've got unstructured document anywhere in the entire process journey, Botminds can absolutely help. We are a 50-member team. Our headquarters is based out of Seattle. Our DC is in Chennai, and we're working on some of the very interesting projects at the moment with some of the large enterprises and partners at the moment. And as you can see, this is a clear no-code platform essentially built for the SMEs. And the idea is to use point and click, use our AI models that we've already built, and use your point and click ability to be able to create new models based on absolutely your requirements. So custom to your requirements there. Next slide, please. And so we have been in this journey for like 4.5, 5 years now. And we are talking about version 15 release today. So there have been a couple of phenomenal improvements and changes and additions that have been added. The new ones that we've added this time around is basically process automation and document analytics. But our core of our platform still stays as document understanding. So if you go to the next slide, please, I'll cover that there. In terms of document understanding, we maintain the same, awesome model creation, specifically to be able to understand anything, any kind of document, whether it's your scanned, PDF file, native PDF file, images that are coming through. We have the ability to understand all of that, not just read from it, but being able to classify and extract the data. If your data sits on the web page and you want to look at some research, we can read the web pages and extract the information. If the information comes in a variety of different ways in which it has been written semantically, we can go ahead and extract that. Layouts and templates is not something that we work on. So our platform is absolutely independent of that. So that's a core part there, the document understanding. The second part is the document exploration, which is something that we added, with our last release. And that is the ability to, integrate search ability within your documents. This may not sound very interesting by the face of it, but if you've ever tried to look for some document, the best ability that you have really is to find by the file name. But with Botminds platform, the moment you put any document on the platform, whether it's a native PDF file or it's a scanned image, doesn't matter. You have the ability to search within the document. And if you're coming at that search after document understanding, after the annotation that is done, you can even look for specific things like, I want to find a document which essentially has the vendor name as X, Y, and Z. And you have all these abilities to create queries and filters, everything that can be done, on the UI itself. That's our document exploration. Process automation is something that we are adding. We're rebranding our earlier capability, and we're adding a couple of more things here. So this is where the entire journey of the document, the entire journey is taken care of, where you're looking at the intake, being able to take from multiple different sources, identify the documents, ingest certain rules over there. You want to go ahead and put certain workflows, notifications, to your respective, executive teams, SMEs, etc. All of that, essentially, you can do that as part of the UI itself, as part of the process automation. With that, our base information of being able to consume the data via APIs and other export formats absolutely continues to stay. The new part that we're adding with our V15 release is the document analytics. And that essentially, we are going away from just a view to a dashboard and analytics. So we had added dashboards, on our V13, V14 release as well. And we're now making it, next step. And that's something that a demo that you will see from TV later on today. So you have the ability to slice and dice the data, put different widgets, look at the data from a bar chart or a pie chart, whatever way data makes sense to you, you have the ability to see that information live. So essentially, you don't even have to look at extracted information. You can look at the analytics, or you can go ahead and directly consume the content on the other side. All of that, again, comes to you without any need for any code or understanding of programming. So that's the three sections that I essentially had. With this, I will hand it over to Gokul.
Thanks, Vikas, for that beautiful introduction about Botminds. Now I'd like to put this V15 release in context. Okay, so we have, the V15 comes after like a clockwork of releases every quarter for the last 2 years. Like we made this is the 8th release in the last 2 years. Every quarter we are releasing one release. And in the last 8 releases, we added great many features, but we stick to one theme, or the 3 main mission at Botminds, right? What Vikas talked about. One, it's a no-code platform built for business users. Like business user, there should not be any worry about we have to go and write code. Not even low code. You don't have to worry about relying on technology team at all. It's a no-code platform. Lot got added into the platform in the last 8 release from that angle. It's completely no-code platform. A lot of things in the automations SMEs or business users can do in Botminds now. 2 years before, people never thought about, okay, this can be done by business users. Now it's possible. So that's a no-code platform. That's the one dimension we always cared about. Second, it's about one single platform for all your needs. Like we are focusing on document process automation, but whatever you need for getting documents, let's say you need a component to get documents from a SharePoint or from a web, or you want a workflow management tool, or you want a quick productivity management software. So all we brought inside to the platform slowly, one by one, driven by our customers. So that's the second. That's from day one. We thought, okay, it should be one single holistic platform for all needs. All your needs to automate a document-centric process. So that's what happened in the last 7-8 releases. So a lot of capabilities added to expand our reach in terms of what you mean by end-to-end. Okay, so that's what continues in the V15 also. Now we added analytics. Okay, so far it's about document intake to output. Now we are into getting into analytics also. That's the natural evolution to our platform. That's the second thing we are sticking to in the last 7-8 release. And one more thing is in all along we are laser focused on unstructured documents. Like we added capabilities around table understanding, large document, like processing 1,000-page documents, or semantic understanding of paragraphs, understanding from multiple documents. So a lot of capabilities got added. That's continuous now. Like even V14, we added ability to add, automatically do a search and understand web pages and structure that. So that capability got added. So that's continuing in this V15 also. So 3 things I want to give: 1, no code platform, end-to-end automation, and true unstructured document processing. That's the hallmark of all our releases in the last 2 years. So that's what you can see in all these versions in V7 to V15. Yeah, a lot got added in V1 to V7, but last 8 release, it's like every quarter we are doing one release. In V15, actually, 5 things, but I wanted to focus on the 3 key capabilities that got added, like a complete revamp of UX. So we completely revamped our product UX or experience to customers and end users. That's a complete revamp, and that actually in line with user personas we see, the kind of users, kind of people using your platform. So that's the first foremost change in the V15. Second, when I'm close to my heart, this discovery model, like it removes a huge pain to our knowledge process automation creators when we are dealing with web pages and all. So that we will showcase today. So the discovery model, and as I said, we are also including analytics layer to our platform. So that's the 3 things we are going to talk about in today's demo. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to reshare my portal. Just a minute. Okay. Right. So let's start live demo quickly. I'm super excited to showcase the changes, new features coming with this V15. So I'll talk about this UX change. So this is now super clean. Only 3 menus, 3 high-level menu options in our platform. We have simplified, as I said, 3 personas. Each one can focus on one. Like when you select a project, it's straight away documents, dashboard, and studio. So dashboard is for CXOs or knowledge leaders who wants the high level cream of information, what's happening, and insights from the documents. With our analytics capability added, a dashboard gets super heavy attention from CXOs. So that's what all assembled under dashboard. Then we have studio. It's all for our creators, like people who are designing or creating automation solutions in enterprise. They can do using this studio. All needed to automate. For example, you want to automate ingestion. For V14, we release SharePoint connector. You want to go and add a SharePoint connector. That's now available under automation tab within Studio. Or you want to configure the structure, the output file should get generated. Again, that's available automation. And data feeds, you want to push that structured data into your Slack or email. Yeah, those kind of automations, what Vikas talked about, the process automation is part of is available in Studio under the automation tab. And also the SMEs will be here while the automation solutions are getting designed. So they will define, okay, what are all the data points I want to extract? What are all the different way I want to see the extracted data? Or what are all the stages a document should go through in its automation process flow? Or what are all the different type of error I can expect when an automation happens? So all can be configured in the process center. So we have automation, process center, and anything about AI comes into this AI builder. So again, you all know Botminds comes with its own ML ops or NLP model operations inbuilt. So it's one-click model generation. You can generate models, any number of models, versions to the models. You can generate right from here, and you can add those model into our orchestrator, or now it is rebranded as pipeline, AI pipeline, and that's available in Studio. So To put simply, this studio is for the creators or the AI solution designers in enterprise, and dashboard is for CXOs, and the documents is for the knowledge workers or the SMEs who will come and help in data set generation or creating AI models. So that's the main change in UX. It's very simple, simplified UX in Botmind platform, and it's well aligned with the user personas involved in document process automation in enterprise. So that's the first change in V15. Now I'm handing it over to TV to walk you through about other two things. Over to you, TV.
Thanks, Gokul. Thanks for that. Before I start, I'll quickly share my screen. Gokul, let me know if you're able to see my screen and also hear me clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, moving on to the discovery model. So Gokul pointed out the different versions that we did over the last 2 years. So we people who have been using the product would have definitely known the for the native PDF understanding, like we have some inbuilt models. Say for instance, we have got the reader model. So what it does is like it understands the PDF documents, it goes through it reads the document, it understands the different sections, it understands the different paragraphs within it, understands the tables within it. So the inbuilt meta model, the reader model, is what is used to understand a PDF document, a native PDF document. So what we did in V15 is did something similar for a web page understanding too. So this discovery model, it's one of our meta models that we use for identifying the relevant links that are available within different listing pages. So say for instance, you have different news articles, different listing pages which has numerous number of news articles listed within. So what this discovery model does is it goes in, it extracts all the links that are relevant to the particular the listing page, and also sends the extracted links and dumps into the project as well. So maybe I'll quickly show you how we can use the discovery model into action and how we can extract the links from various news article or press releases pages. So as Gokul pointed out, this is the default studio menu where you end up in the overview page. So I'll quickly touch base on the drive too. So this is where I've used all the links configured. So in this drive, like this is a project specific drive wherein you have an input folder here and a different number of text articles, text pages that are text files that are given here. So to show a sample a text file, so these are the so these are the different articles or links that we are planning to use using the discovery model to extract all the links from within all these web pages. So this is one such file, this 2904_1.txt. So this is what has been used in the drive also. So what I'm planning to do here is I'm going to use this input folder, extract all the links from within the text files, and then use not just extract the listing pages alone, and also extract all the news articles from within the listing pages too. So I'm just copying this path here and then going right away to automation where Gokul showed the ingestion part. So this ingestion part is where you configure the source for you. This data source, it's we get to configure a lot of documents that can be brought in from various external sources. So one such source that I'm going to use is the Botminds drive. So as you remember, like I just copied the drive path URL. I'm going to go into the Botminds drive here. I'm going to paste the URL here. So once you click on validate, this is just to make sure like the user has access to this particular drive folder. So once you click on validate, you get to the confirm source page. So here I want to highlight a couple of things, how we can extract the links from within those pages. So if you can see here, there is a separate section called as web scraper. So under the web scraper, you see this option, process only articles. So this is where if you want to extract the links, let's say you want to extract all the articles that lies within a specific press release page. So in that case, you can use this option. So I'm just enabling this one. And also a few other changes like the other resources, meaning like resources that are not needed for you. If you want, you can skip those, skip the ads that lies within the the news article pages. And also another option here is to extract the sublinks. So if there are multiple links of links that are present, so if you want to go 2 or 3 levels down further, you can use this particular option too. So the level also can be configured here. So what I'm planning to do here is go extract the main pages from the text file that we saw in the drive, and also go into each of those links, extract all those release articles from within those listing pages. So I'm giving the level as 2 here. So in addition to that, we also have a scheduler configuration. So using this, what we can do is we can set a frequency. So while configuring or adding this particular source, I can enable the frequency also. I can choose after how many days or after how many minutes do I need to crawl those particular documents again. So in this case, let's say we saw those 10 links from the text file. So if there are further links that are getting added to further news articles that are getting added within those links also, so we have the option to go ahead and crawl those newly added links to the newly added news articles too. So so if needed, you can set the required number of frequency here. So after how many days or after how many minutes we need to select the particular or crawl the particular links. So I'm not going to add the links here. It probably takes a few minutes to get all the documents from the sources. So I already have this project ready. I log in again. Okay, so going back to the document page, you can see here. So for all those text files, if you can see, we already configured a couple of 3 sources, right? So all these documents that you see here are being extracted from the listing page exactly. So whatever links that you saw in the text file are being extracted here. And also it's not just the links alone, all the articles from within those links also will be extracted here. So maybe I'll quickly show the filtering options also. So we have this show listing page. So what this filter option does is it just filters you just the parent links alone. So whatever links you saw in the text file, only those documents will be filtered, and you have like 12 of those documents that are being configured within those text files. And similarly, if you want to, let's say, I have some listing page as actions. So if I click on search, so what this does is like there is a specific link called actions. So what this does is like links that got extracted from within the actions listing page alone can be filtered and seen here. So it's not just like if you want to configure or see a specific company's web pages alone or specific company's news articles alone, you can pretty much do it by using the filter list URL here. So these list URL and listing page can be pretty much configured from our previous release options itself. So you have the edit query can be configured, the listing page, the list URL. So you can see these 2 are enabled. So using that, you can pretty much filter out the documents here. So maybe I'll quickly go on to a document, how the crawling is. Let's see how the crawling has worked here. So this is one of a news article that got extracted from within the actions listing page. Similarly, there are quite a few number of other documents too. Maybe I'll quickly show the listing page too, how the links got extracted. So if we can see here, this is one of the parent listing pages, higher view. So as you see here, this listing page internally has multiple press releases. So this is one such article. This is one such article. So you can see all these articles being extracted in the summary itself. You can see. So all the links here, you can see these are the links that we extract from the particular page. So you can see all these being extracted, and these documents you will see pretty much in the listing page too. So you can jump into any of those specific documents, or you can jump into any of the press releases too. So yeah, this sums up the discovery model. So it's one of great value adds that we did for V15. And probably one more thing I can add here is the scale. The scale that this brings into the picture, that this particular feature has, is commendable, because just say for instance one of the leading banking investment companies, they use this particular feature to almost extract like 5,000 plus I think more than 5,000 documents, 5,000 companies web pages are being extracted, links of 5,000 companies are being extracted. And it adds the amount of value. They configured the scheduler also. So every day it goes and pick the latest articles. And yeah, it's a great value add that we have done for V15. So yeah, this thumbs up about the discovery model. So Gokul, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, this great demo here. And more importantly, web pages are classic example for unstructured document. It's each website will have their own structure, their own way of presenting that. Now it's completely structured. You define what information you want to extract. It's structured and it's available for you to query. The left-hand side query panel you can configure. You can use the query panel to land on that. You showcase with a parent page, using parent page to get that as a thing. You can very well say, okay, give me the pages that talks about let's say a product release. That also possible, or all the pages that contains name of this person name. Lot possible now. That is the power of the document exploration available in document. You can automate document intake. You can extract automatically. You can also configure the different ways to search and query. And now you have to showcase as the next edition, that analytics. It's not only querying, it's not only structuring the data. Now you can create some powerful analytics dashboard on top of the structured data.
Yeah. Thanks, Gokul. Yeah. So yeah, Gokul was kind of doing a touch base on this, the filters here, the exploration, document exploration. So the reason I covered just the two, like the listing page and the list URL, is the previously you might have seen all these things in the previous releases to V13, V14. You might have seen all the other additions. So the two additional options can also be combined with the remaining filters too. You can do whatever search you want and then filter out the documents of the users need. So yeah, so moving on to the analytics part, this one of my personal best. So yeah, as you can see, a colorful a dashboard that is being configured here. So yeah, with this V15, like we brought in a lot of changes. Of course, like dashboard we kind of introduced in V14 too, but with this V15 we added a lot of I would say a lot of color here, a lot of value here, a lot of insights. And yeah, as Gokul pointed out, he told like the CXOs, like the amount of insights they get from these kind of bar charts, these kind of pie charts, like the tabular information, the insights from within the document, different aggregate functions. So all those can be configured according to the user's need. So it's not just like a fixed a specific few specific widgets that you can configure for a dashboard. It's completely customizable. It caters to the user's needs according to their wish to. So as you can see here, there are quite a few number of charts that are already configured. So maybe I'll quickly show how we can create one such widget, or maybe how we can configure a widget. So as you can see, there is a triple dot option here. So you can click on, if you want to edit an existing dashboard, you can click on edit option, and you can see 3 new icons added here. So clicking on this add widget, it shows you might have seen this in the previous version itself. So excuse me. So yeah, so these are the different widgets that a user can pretty much configure for their need. And yeah, so I'm going to quickly talk about a couple of 2 new widgets, or 3 widgets that got recently added here. So one is the query widget. So this query widget, what it does is like you have an ability to create create a widget depending on the data that is being flowing into the project. So you can perform various number of functions here. You want to chop and choose like whatever document, whatever columns you want to see in that particular table. You want to perform any specific aggregate functions. You want to see the overall sum of the contract value. You want to see overall average contract value per year. So all those can be pretty much configured using this query widget. So this is completely customizable to the need. And similarly, this navigation widget. Navigation widget, it's really a nice add to a dashboard, because SEXO or even any knowledge leader for that matter tend to have like multiple widgets configured within a single dashboard. So what this navigation widget adds is like it creates a separate widget. It probably sticks to the left of your window, and you can choose whatever. These are the list that you're seeing here is the number of widgets that are available in the dashboard. So you can choose as many number of widgets you want. If you want, you're going to choose all those widgets here. So what this does is like clicking on any of these widgets from within the navigation widget, it takes you to the right place. So just imagine if there are like 20, 25 widgets configured, the user doesn't need to quickly go ahead, scroll, have the pain of scrolling through the entire widget and then finding the right one. So I understand this is a colorful one. This has a lot of data. So that's where this navigation widget comes into play. So click on the exact widget what the user wants to. You can pretty well land in the right place. And you have, as you can see, like there are probably I'll touch base on the other widget too. The static widget. So static widget again, it's this can be helpful for users or enterprises where they want to see a data from a specific external source. So let's say the specific admin has a data specific to that particular project or any downstream data that they want to see. If they have it in an Excel file, they can pretty much configure that particular, dump it into our project drive itself, and then use the drive URL here, so that all the information that is configured in the Excel file, all the data that is lying in the Excel file, can be seen in a tabular format in a separate widget. So the static widget again, I believe will add a lot of value to an enterprise management tool. So yeah, these are the new widgets that got added. A few more additions here, as you can see, this the chart that you are seeing here, the bar chart, the pie chart, the line chart. So all these information all these charts that you're seeing here has been introduced recently. So if how to configure that, probably you go into a so if you can see here configuring a query widget, you can see the preferred view here. So by default, it will be a tabular view. You can pretty much change into a line graph or a bar chart or a pie chart. So in addition to that, you have a configuration of legends too. So legends, it gives like whatever data that by default, what are the colors that denotes for different years here. In this case, what are the different categories here, different cases. So yeah, this is with respect to the charts that got introduced with the V15. And yeah, once we have done all the changes, you can pretty much save the dashboard. And in addition to this, we also introduced the concept of multi-dashboard. It's not always the user will create a single dashboard for each specific user. They might tend to have different kinds of widgets that they want to see, or different kinds of insights they want to see. So in that case, okay, we'll refresh the page once. Yeah. So clicking on this, you get to see the different dashboards that are available here. So this is a pin dashboard. By default, it will come to you. It will load for you, and you can choose any other dashboard too. You can click on any of the other dashboards, click view them, and if you want to make this as a make this dashboard to come always, you can choose the pin option to pin it to this particular project. And if you want to create a new dashboard, you can pretty much do it. You can change the name of it. You can add all the widgets from scratch here, and boom, you'll have something similar, something decorative to what we have here. So yeah, so that is pretty much with respect to the dashboard and analytics here. And maybe I can touch base on one more addition here. So all these dashboards and widgets that you are seeing here, it's kind of specific to a project. So we have also introduced a dashboard at a subscription level too. So if the user wants to configure a project, so I think it is available in the admin page. Yeah, I'll show you that. Yeah, so this is from the settings page, you can pretty much configure the subscription dashboard. So once it is enabled, once you click on save, so you can go back to maybe take you back to the subscription page. So you have this new menu enabled here. So this dashboard is where you get to configure all the widgets at a subscription level. So there can be like multiple projects. One talking about, let's say, a separate year's revenue. One talking about the start profit. So that can be different projects that are available within a subscription. So if you want to configure widgets at a subscription level for each project, you want to for each project, what are the different metrics that you want to see? You can pretty much see it from the subscription dashboard. So yeah, that sums up the dashboard and the analytics that we did for V15. So I hope this comes in handy for many of the enterprises, many of the use cases. It adds a lot of insight. And any questions, keep it flowing in the comment section, and let Gokul add few comments over here.
Yeah, I think good. Thanks, TV, for the demo. Again, fantastic work by the team overall. kudos to you and team. And actually, this dashboard is already a huge hit with the customers. Like, it's like, so far it's like, okay, documents, you're doing an extraction, okay, we are getting it is structured, we are getting that out to our some other systems. But suddenly it like, I see the knowledge leaders usage, and coming to a platform, and that um, attention it gathers, it's pretty high. So I'm super excited the direction we have taken and the results we are seeing. So to talk about it, maybe it's time to invite again Vikas. Um, over to you.
Thank you. Can we have the slides back, please? Or I can share, not a problem. All right, awesome. So just to highlight and emphasize on exactly what's kind of possible. So a lot has been done essentially within the automation space, but a larger gap that has been there is unstructured data. And all of you recognize that because the data essentially sits there and needs a lot of work to be done before it can be automated. What Botminds essentially makes it possible to use the SME's ability, and rather than depending upon either custom scripts or custom solutions there. And we're not just saying that it's done. There are 3 examples that you see on the screen right now, showing that we've actually done that. The very first example is of contract intelligence. This is a large US-based company that specializes in digital typesetting and typeface designs for use with consumer electronics. You might have heard about the name. I'm not going to take the name here, but it's headquartered out of Massachusetts. And the key part that we are essentially working with them is we are looking at roughly past 20, 30 years of contracts that they have. And roughly about 30,000 contracts is currently what we're processing. And we directly have a link between their SharePoint, so they don't really have to upload the documents one by one. And it doesn't matter how old, and if you can imagine 30 years worth of contracts, it goes way back before, in the 90s scenario. So we had, different kind of formats there, different kind of documents, and the way of writing the contract. So all those things have been addressed with our independent of template, capability, and we extract the information. Now, what we've done is, instead of the entire contracts being, closed into a particular folder that somebody needs to access if at all they want to, now they can review all the contracts in the real-time basis, get analytics out of that to say, hey, which one of these customers did we forget to bill? Which one of these customers are we billing less in terms of our, license-based, user-based? What was our contract with them? So all of that completely now gets exposed. So 30 years worth of data is now readily available for you to do slice and dice with our analytics, with our extraction, and that's the benefit that we've given. We are in fact running a detailed webinar on June 28th, something that'll be announced on LinkedIn later, where we'll have our client come in here and talk about the entire journey. So that might be interesting if that's something of interest to you. So that's our first example. Second one is the press release monitoring, and this is a leading global technology research advisory firm that we're working with. And of course, as part of the research, there's a lot of data that needs to be gathered. Most of this data happens to be sitting on the web. And as everybody's aware, if the data is on the web, it is typically in different kind of designs, different kind of layers, could be HTML, could be whatever as the case may be. And being able to write information, an ability or create an ability to get the information from the web, so far was only restricted to, web scraping. Scraping is very brittle, something that often breaks and needs custom templates there. So what we did is we used our platform here to be able to extract information from the web. First, finding the details about what those press releases. So it starts really from the Google search, put a search criteria, get to the news, press releases or news sites that need to be extracted, pick up the entire information, bring that information into our platform, and then present it the way it needs to be presented. So this entire piece, which was a lot of open-end research, but there's a guideline that is given. We've done that kind of a scenario, as well, and that's something that's currently being used. And the last thing that I will touch upon is another completely radical different thing, which is the adverse event case processing or tracking. This is a global provider for active pharmaceutical ingredient and a preferred pharmacovigilance partner to a lot of pharmaceutical and biotech companies looking for compliance and adverse event tracking. So that's the company that we're working with. And what we're doing is we're looking at automatic case intake, being able to extract what was the effect, what was the adverse event that was caused by a particular drug based on all this documentation that has come through. And again, you probably get the drift by now. There isn't a particular way of writing. There isn't a particular headline or a particular template in which something kind of has to be written. Everything is open written, open text. It's unstructured. And that's really where Botminds essentially excels, to be able to extract the information from any unstructured data that is there. So we thought, showing platform is great, but to tell you that it actually works, and we're working with a couple of large organizations there. And these are some of the things that we've actually done. So hopefully this will ignite some thought in terms of what is really possible, with Botminds. And I think this essentially is a close to the slideware that we had. We can open this up to a Q&A now. So I'll go to my LinkedIn page. I don't see any questions there, so we'll just keep it open for a few minutes. I'll hand it over to you, Gokul, if you want to just talk about a few things while we're waiting for questions.
Yeah, great. Because actually we do have a question. I can see Jaykumar asking about, do you have an SDK to help us integrate in any application use case? Absolutely, yes, Jay. We have SDK. Our product team can work closely with your team in case if you need any support. But now I think from V14 we also enabled a web-based integration. So published documents available on the SDKs. We can make it happen, work together on that. Yes, we have SDK.
All right, I've refreshed my page, so I see both the questions from Jaykumar. I'll read the second question after you. So I think it's the same point that's in continuation to it. But of course, the resume parser is something that we already built. So yeah, Gokul's already answered that part there.
The point about pay-per use, that's the idea about our marketplace, and partners like yours can very well create solutions and publish in our marketplace, and we take it to the wider audience as a pay-per-use model. And we are not yet exposed the pre-trained model by Botminds team as pay-per-use, but that's the direction we want to take. Our partners will come and create solutions that we like to host and expose as a pay-per-use models in our platform. Okay.
All right, we still have a couple of minutes. If there are any more questions by anyone, feel free to write them here or maybe send it out later. That's also possible. All right, maybe let me ask this out. So Gokul, for those of who have joined us and maybe have this question, how does one really get started with Botminds? Do you want to just give a 2-minute overview on what does it take to get started, what may be required, and how they can get started with us?
Perfect. Thanks for asking. I thought of doing it myself. So it's our mission all along from day one is making it super easy to business to get started with automation. No code, AI first platform. Having said that, you can reach us, you can get a subscription. Our solution team will give you an onboarding, walk through how you have to set up like a project, how you have to set up the drive, or how you to upload documents, how to do the annotation. So that's simple. Like maybe 1 or 2 onboarding sessions, you will get started. And more importantly, what we want is documents. Give us the documents, sample documents, and tell us what information you want to extract, and also tell us before and after the document, because it's an end-to-end platform. Say most of the time, enterprise misses that, okay, approaches that this as a narrow like IDP product. Okay, just okay, IDP is a replacement for OCR. Let's talk about that extraction. No, we want to approach this end-to-end product. So that's why I said onboarding sessions, 1 or 2 sessions, our solution engineer will work with you, understand what's happening before that extraction challenge, what happens after that extraction. We'll stitch together the entire solution, and we will deliver to you. So to put it simply, reach out to us. We'll set up an subscription to you, and a trial and onboarding sessions. And that's pretty much that easy to get started with our platform.
Awesome. And how long would it take if I as a customer give you the documents that need to be done? How long does a model take to build? By when can I start seeing results?
Great. So I have seen scenarios where the customer got results within a few hours, and where some scenarios it takes few weeks. But for sure, it's not months or years. It takes in other traditional approaches. So anywhere from few hours to maybe few days, in some rare case, few weeks. So that's the time you should expect to see the results.
Awesome. And just to add a bit clarity there, when he said give us some sample documents, give us the data, I understand that there is a sample document set that is required, and then there's a taxonomy, which is the output that is required. What is the rough range that you recommend for a typical model, typical scenario, typical use case? What would be the rough sample data? Because a lot of organizations, don't have a lot of data that is structured and organized. So what's the minimum size they're looking at?
So the minimum sample size we recommend is 100. 100 examples enough to get going with first version model, good production ready model. That's what we recommend. And having said that, it's not like line on the sand where it's strict 100. No, we have seen scenarios where it's enough like 20, 30 documents, we can get high accurate model. And it boils down to the semantic variations involved in the documents and the structural complexity involved in the documents. We have seen scenarios where you need a few hundreds more, and we will be very upfront on seeing initial few documents itself. Our solution engineers will be in a position to guide you what it needs and set the expectation right.
Awesome. I think we're done with the general questions. We're done with the questions here. I'll hand it over back to you, Gokul, if you want to just close the session.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks everyone who joined and made this session more productive and exciting. And as I said, we are doing this every quarter. Maybe we are doing this event for first time on V15. Expect more events. Even we are planning to do more, feature specific events or customer success stories or customers coming and talking about the capabilities. So stay tuned. And yeah, that's it. Fantastic. I look forward to have the same kind of participation and more participation in the upcoming events. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.